This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
And this is Kyrsten Leister at Burger_Lurker on Twitter.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast.
Jingle, 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 jingle. What is that? What are you doing?
I don't know. I have no sense of music. Hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show, each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, more of our podcasts at ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And finally, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer at the minimum rate of $1 per month for an exclusive RSS feed with content recorded specifically for Patreon supporters. And at the rate of $5 a month, you can get video access to us talking about movies we see in the theaters after seeing them in the theaters. I'm your host, the aforementioned Matt Hurt, also known as DJ Matty Fresh on the ones and twos. And with me today is recurring co-host, K-Dog herself, Kyrsten Leister.
Ew.
Yeah. Hi, Kyrsten. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. Cool. Can you, center it a little bit, the microphone? There you go. Okay. It's been a while. Yeah. I guess. I don't know if that makes any improvement. Anyway, yeah. So how's it been? How did you feel about the Patreon recording that we just did?
It was great, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that we didn't get to on the Patreon recording, though, that's going to bleed over into this episode. You guys are getting a free sneak peek at the Patreon level content.
Sneaky peeky.
Yes. It's been a while since you've been on a regular full-fledged episode. You got your septum pierced.
I did.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
What's there to say?
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it did hurt.
Should I do it? Should
Should
it be like an obsessive viewer thing?
No.
Like all of us get our septum pierced?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's a weird thing to suggest, Matt.
I don't think so.
I have always thought septum piercings look cool, and I've always had the thought, oh, that's great. I could never get one, though. And then I
Because
was
you're
like,
not cool.
hey, why wouldn't I get one? So I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Thank you. I like it.
You also got a haircut today.
I got my haircut. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's run down exactly everything else that you did today.
Well, I was woken up at 9:00 because the veterinarian called me.
Right.
I was planning on sleeping in because I was at a party last night.
Oh, look at you.
So I wanted to
partying.
sleep in, but then I woke up at 9, so I was like, well, now I can't go back to sleep. So I made some coffee. I was laying in bed. I was drinking my coffee and I checked, my email. I bought some stuff on Amazon because I had a gift card to use.
Nice.
I, checked my Twitter and Facebook and I played some Pokemon. Let's see,
This bit has gone on so long. I'm so sorry.
I fed my cat, fed both the cats.
Yes. If you pay us on Patreon, you will know what she's talking about.
Otherwise, you're in the dark.
Yes.
And then I got a phone call from the salon that I go to, and they were like, well, Cat had a cancellation. If you want to move up, that's fine. Let us know. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I could do $2.15. So I got ready to go. And then I left my apartment. I took some boxes out to the dumpster.
Oh, well, you gotta.
And then I left and I went to get my hair cut. And then I texted you and was like, hey, I'm heading your way. And then I did that. And then I came here and then we watched some TV and then we went and we got some food and then we came back and we watched a movie. And now we're recording.
That was excruciing. That was so painful.
That's what I did today.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And I'll spare you with all my stuff. But yeah. So we're recording.
No, please don't. I'm very interested in
the
hearing.
The listener isn't though.
The listener. I like how you assume there's one person listening. There's no royal listener.
But no. It's
hey, you one person out there.
Thank you, Robert in Utah. So, anyway.
Loyal Robert from Loyal, Utah.
Yes. So anyway.
They call it the loyalty state.
They do, yeah. don't
look it up.
Yeah, don't
fact check us.
It's funny, and
Robert.
This is a good segue. You mentioned that you were at a party last night. I recorded a podcast last night, and I posted it today.
Yeah, I know, because I came over and you were like, I'm almost done.
Because
and
we had plans an hour before, like an hour after.
It was 45 minutes.
It was like an hour.
It was like 45 minutes.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
And I texted you
like an hour and a half beforehand.
No, let's see.
When I was already...
Let's see. We were originally planning on hanging out around like 3:40, 4 o'clock.
Around like 4.
And I texted you at 12:25.
Yes.
And said... asked if it would be okay if I came over a little bit earlier because my stylist bumped me up.
Wait, did you actually ask?
No, I didn't ask.
No, you didn't. Thank you.
But you said, sounds good. And then I texted you at 2:43 and said, hey, I'm leaving the salon. I'll be over a little bit after 3. You said, sounds great.
You need to keep in mind, I was already...
I have the receipts.
In podcast editing mode. Anyway, so last night I recorded a podcast with my friend Evan from the Midwest Film Journal website and the Indiana Film Journalists Association. So if you guys listened to that, thank you. And I'm sorry that you're back to listening to me, because he's very articulate and he's very good at talking about films and everything. And I am just skating by on my good
Hey, we talk good and stuff.
That's what I have to deal with. So okay. It's been a while since you've been on a full-fledged episode.
Yeah.
You have done some acting and stuff. So before we get by the way, today on the podcast we're going to review Cats in a non-spoiler review, and then we're going to do a full-fledged review of Parasite by Bong Joon-ho. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, look forward to that. Check the show notes if you haven't already turned this off. So
Robert.
Yeah. So anyway, so Kyrsten, you were cast in a movie.
I was in a movie.
Yes,
yeah.
Let's talk about that.
It's called Fun and Games.
Mm-hmm.
The title,
the fun or the games?
I was both, baby.
Oh, okay.
The title may change. It's a D&D murder mystery suspense thrillery kind of thing.
Nice. And so we're going to go line by line through the script. You brought it here.
Oh no.
You've got a yes and me.
Well, you shouldn't put your partner on the spot like that.
Yeah, you should. I think. Yeah, I don't know.
I watched,
Yes.
Don't Think Twice.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh my God.
That.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Was that 2018 or 2019 that
I
came
think it was actually like 2016.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it. It was great.
Yeah, it was my number 10 for that year.
I watched it. It was
was that because of the new one? Or did you just watch it?
Yeah, I watched it after I watched the new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on like a Mikey B kick, you know?
Yeah, yep.
No one's yes-anding me. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
That's a great movie.
It was great.
I rewatched it recently.
Yeah, it was really, I really liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
it was
God,
great.
it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Have you ever done, like, improv?
Not, like, seriously.
Okay.
I mean, we did, like, improv games in high school and in college, but I've never had a desire to want to do, like, to be part of, like, an improv group.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. I've got nothing. I do, like, I talk about all the time.
I love Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, and I love Comedy Bang Bang.
Like, okay, one thing that I always hated about doing improv is, this is going to sound super pretentious, but, like, people don't do it right.
Oh,
you know, like if you're doing the question.
Says the person who doesn't do improv.
The reason I don't do it is because everyone else is a novice.
Okay.
So like, it would be different if you were like, you know, somewhere like Comedy Sports or something, you know?
We need to go to a Comedy Sports.
Oh yeah, I love Comedy Sports. Yeah. But like when I was in high school and when I was in college, like we would play the questions game, you know?
Okay.
And instead of building a cohesive plot, but only using questions, people would be like, is the sky blue? Are you wearing shoes? Are you David? Where are we? You know, and it's like, the point of the game isn't to just ask questions
to throw off people or just to ask questions with no cohesion.
Yeah. It's to tell a story.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why I don't like doing improv, because like people don't know how to do it. And like, well, I totally get, I don't remember the characters' names right now, because it's been a couple weeks since I've watched, Don't Think Twice. Yeah. But like the grandstanding, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's totally a thing.
Oh, yeah.
People love to show off how funny they are. And that's not the point.
And I feel like the movie really, showed that well. Like Keegan-Michael Key, like that moment where he's like, the stakes are about as high as they can get in that world because like, who's in the audience, and he knows this is his chance. Yeah. And it goes against just that's one of the things I really loved about it, because Mike Birbiglia, he's not an improviser or anything, and he I was actually listening to him on Comedy Bang Bang, in an old episode from 2016 where he was talking about how the idea for the movie came from his wife mentioning that, I might get this wrong, but how his wife had made the observation to him that, all of his stand-up friends were nice people and all of his improv friends were kind of dicks, I think. But yeah. And that kind of inspired him to write that
fight scene that they have when they go to that party, when they crash that party.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
How did you like it compared to Sleepwalk with Me?
I liked Sleepwalk with Me more.
Same here, yeah.
But only a little bit. It was, I mean, both were very, very good.
Yeah, I feel like Sleepwalk with Me was a little bit more personal.
Well, it is personal because it's based on a true story of his life.
Right. And I liked the kind of relationship dynamics of that movie a little bit more. Do you remember that the guy Chris Gethard in the movie? Yeah. Do you remember that he was the opener for Birbiglia when we saw him?
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That was the first time I ever saw him on anything, doing anything.
Yeah.
I remember him being like really good.
He was very funny.
Yeah. I specifically remember him having a bit about like a gator park or something in Florida.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And he tied it into like a Holocaust joke in some way or something. Yeah, it was really funny.
We saw several years ago. We saw Mike Birbiglia live, and it was great.
It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Joey Bag of Donuts was there.
He was. Yeah.
Joe Bags.
Yep. And they both signed my Sleepwalk with Me DVD. Yep.
I got a signed poster.
You did, and a hoodie. Yep.
I love that hoodie. Yeah. I wear it all the time.
I've noticed. Yeah. You're not wearing it now, so you must not love it that much. Putting you on the spot.
Do you want to do this right now?
Yes, I do. I do. Yes. Yes.
Can we take this offline? Can we take it offline?
No. This needs to be on the record.
We do not need to have this conversation.
Mike Birbiglia
and you're embarrassing
a listener.
Me. Okay.
Hi, guys. So yeah, Don't Think Twice was good.
It was such a good
time hanging out with you and stuff.
Oh,
get the fuck out of my apartment.
Hey, what?
Yeah, what? No, I'm just kidding.
The twist with Mike Birbiglia's character was pretty great too. I like that.
Yep. That was it was really good. Yep. And it's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's where I watched it. Yeah.
And we'll talk more in depth about Birbig's and comedy in a future episode. Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Yes. But let's. So how was the movie that you filmed? Like, how was the experience?
Oh yeah, it was fun. I've never done a film before. I have training in stage theater, but not in film. And it is different. I had a friend who is in the movie.
Okay.
Who suggested me for this role, and originally I had to decline it because I had other projects going on, and I wasn't going to have the time. And they weren't they weren't able to find someone else to do it. So he's like, "If we push back filming by a couple weeks, would you be available?" And I was like,
"Well, so they pushed it back specifically for you?"
Well, not specifically for me, but because they couldn't fill this role.
Okay.
And so I was like, but I mean, you can think that if you want. Yes.
Did you demand that you only have like green M&Ms in my
private trailer? Yeah.
And that you have a trailer.
We were filming in some guy's garage. Like, it was not that deep. They provided dinner both nights. So
nice.
That was nice. Yeah. So
and that director's name was Steven Spielberg.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it was just, I was just filming for a weekend, and we got all the shots that, the characters who were in the D&D group got all of their shots.
And should we say what role you were playing?
I mean, I'm one of the...
What critical role you were playing? What,
Wow, you're a real natural 20.
yeah. Thank you.
I'm one of the, members of the D&D group in the movie.
So I didn't know if you were the DM or...
No.
Okay.
I'm not. There is a DM. I'm not that character.
Would you say you were the Facebook Messenger, though? Or, like, the WhatsApp, messaging, contact?
I don't get it. Will you explain this joke to me?
Because a DM is a, dungeon master, or... Is that what it stands for?
I don't know.
Yeah. Dragon Master? Dungeons and Dragon Master?
I don't get it. Will you explain this to me?
Yeah, but it's a play on words, because DM also means sliding into them DMs on Twitter, where you can privately message someone on Twitter. And the way that you privately message people on, like, Facebook and, like, WhatsApp is through, like, Facebook Messenger or the WhatsApp application. So, yeah.
I don't understand. Will you explain it to me?
An application is a phone-based piece of software that is developed specifically for use on the cellular telephone.
I don't understand. Will you explain it to me?
Yeah, so a smartphone is a device that many people carry, and it has access to so many different things and everything, and there goes Robert. He's gone. So
you explain it to me? I don't understand.
Now no one is listening to us.
And that's improv. It's a Dungeon Master. Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I filmed all of the scenes that I'm in. Mm-hmm. They have done more filming since then. The film is not done filming.
Sure.
But I don't, there's no specific timeline for when they're going to be done. He's not filming.
Such is the nature of, like, independent filming.
Yeah. The director is not filming this for a specific, like, showing or festival or anything. He's, hoping to sell the movie once it's done.
Sure.
But this is not the first movie he has made independently. He does this for a living.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very excited to eventually see it.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully we get access to it and everything.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe we'll see him at Heartland or something.
Hey, who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty freaking cool. You could interview me on the red carpet.
That would be
I could interview
amazing.
myself. That would be better.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm really good at it. So you should leave it for the experts.
I've been doing this for 6.5 years.
Well, but, you know.
I'm in a critics group.
natural, so.
Just IFJ.
Yeah, well, you only were offered membership after I joined the podcast.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think it's here.
So we watched some movies.
So, okay, Robert, yes. So, I think we should direct all dialogue in the podcast from now on directly at Robert. Is he a Patreon patron?
He is. Oh yeah. Oh
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Only the best.
He's one of the 8. Yeah. But also shout out to, Matt and Draco and our contributor Ben Sears and Fecus is both. Yeah.
Okay, so Robert, we went and saw Cats.
We did. Okay.
We're about to begin.
Here we go!
Which I wrote a review on the website, obsessivereviewer.com.
That review was accurate.
Thank you. That's what when you are just a powerhouse of a critic such as I, it's really hard to write a review of a movie where
it's really hard to write a review of a movie.
It is.
That hurt.
Hey, fuck you. And also, it's very hard to write a review of a movie when you are just glazed, like your eyes are glazed over
when you're
the
a prisoner
entire time. Yes.
in the theater.
So we're gonna do a non-spoiler review of Cats.
Here's the non-spoiler. It was
Yes.
I've been ranking my movies
yes.
for the whole year, and this was the very dead last
Yes.
movie.
And plot summary courtesy of IMDb. The tribe of cats called the Jellicles must decide...
For some reason.
Yes. Must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heaviside lair and come back to a new Jellicle life. Adapted from the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical from Broadway.
Yes. One of the longest running shows on Broadway.
Why? Well, okay, I understand from what I've seen in bits and pieces, like online and stuff, is that it did have, like, some, in terms of, like, theatrical production, it maybe broke some ground with, like, lighting and, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But also, counterpoint, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Going into it, I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it because story time. When I was in middle school, my friend Jasmine Fields, was like, hey, do you want to come over to my house and hang out this weekend? I have Cats on DVD. It's a musical. And I was like, this is going to be great because I love cats. I love musicals. This is going to be a magical evening.
Yeah.
And it was nasty crap. And we didn't even finish it. It was so bad. We just put on Aladdin instead.
Good choice.
Yeah. So that was very disappointing for me as a child. And
I remember watching it a lot in elementary school, but not retaining any of the information.
see, we always watched The Sandbox. We always...
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot, yeah. Like if there was a holiday and we had like a half day or something, instead of doing anything for the half day, they would just put on a movie, and I'm like, why not just let us stay home then? But so we always watched the first half of Sandlot, and for years I never knew how it ended. Wow. It was weird. Like they just played the first half of The Sandlot. We never finished it. I was like, this is bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, so going into it, I knew I wasn't going to like it because I didn't like it when I was a kid. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense. It's based on poems. Like that's what the musical is. That's what Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote the musical about. It's based on a book of poems. Right. So already it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, we didn't expect to like it because of the everything about it.
Yeah, because of all of the movie.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a bunch of cats holding a talent show to find out who gets to be reincarnated.
Yeah. And for me, like, I got none of that from it. Like, I struggled so hard to just grasp the plot. Because immediately, like, it throws into, like, so many different musical, like, numbers and stuff.
Well, and the majority of the movie is introducing the characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a can line of introducing new weird cats to the audience and throwing them in our face.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would say this, but hey, that's enough cats.
Right. Absolutely. And, like, it's too, like, they don't develop them. They just introduce them, but they don't develop them or anything. Ugh, just really, just a freaking mess.
And one thing that bothered me is that the CGI didn't even look good.
No.
Like, it looked like it wasn't finished.
I actually I didn't read the actual article, but I saw the headline where there are theories that they're kind of tampering with the CGI after release, like, and kind of discreetly, like, update, like, showing, like, a newer version of it.
They should.
Yeah.
Because it was bad. Because I remember seeing the trailers come out and being like, they're probably not done with the CGI because it doesn't look completely rendered. And I know sometimes movies will do that. They'll release a trailer when all the CGI isn't done because, they still have work to do. Apparently this was not the case. Because there were certain scenes that looked like bad green screen.
Yep.
Their faces didn't look blended all the way in certain scenes.
And the way that the ears moved.
Yeah, and their bodies too sometimes. I mean, it just didn't look right. It
just was so unnatural.
Yeah. And they looked fucking weird because they had these ears, but they had human noses and their hands were hands. And I was like, this is weird, uncanny valley shit here.
Oh yeah. And like the bad green screen stuff, like in addition to that
train scene, it looked so, like, it was so bad.
It looked terrible. The perspective was all off. Like, it looked like the kind of conceit of the movie is that these cats are just regular-sized cats, and it's like kind of from their perspective of the world, like the world
human-sized
world. But like in that train sequence on the train tracks, it's like they're barely like big enough for the rails.
Yeah,
and it's weird. Like,
and if it's a human world and these are just anthropomorphic cats. How did they have shoes? How did they have jackets and hats?
Why did every single storefront and business have a cat theme to it?
Yeah, they had. There were milk bars.
Yeah,
it's very weird. It was almost like the world was catered to them.
Oh my God, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It was very, very weird. Also, I was not impressed by the performances.
Yeah.
A lot of big names in this.
Oh, insane. Like, and then Dame Judi Dench.
A lot of unknowns, too.
Yep.
But, I mean, Idris Elba, I was disappointed in. Shame on you, sir, for accepting this role, but also for not doing it justice.
And that's so out of character.
Every time he disappeared, he said, meow.
Meow. That was ridiculous. And, like, his powers, whatever he was doing was, like, ill-defined. And it's so, like, as someone who admires Idris Elba as an actor, I mean, The Wire, like, oh my God, he's amazing in that. Hey, like, this is so out of character for him to be in a movie that's terrible.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah, you didn't pick up on that. Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Dark Tower. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Jennifer Hudson, I gave a good performance.
Yeah, her performance of, is it Memory or Memories?
I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
Rizabella. That's the character's name.
Yeah.
A lot of times they didn't even state the character's name, so I didn't know who people were.
Yeah, like only 2 musical numbers like stood out to me, and that was Jennifer Hudson's Memories and the Mistopheles or whatever, the magical guy.
Mr. Mistopheles. I thought Taylor Swift's McCavity the Mystery Cat was fun.
That was solid, yeah.
That's a pretty big number. But again, they didn't clarify who she was.
No.
Her character's name was Bombalurina, but they never said who she was or who she was in relation to McCavity.
Yep.
So, and that could be something from the musical. I don't know.
But even then, even if that's the case,
it was confusing. Like she was only in that one scene.
Yeah, and then she's gone.
Yeah,
like it's nothing.
I was like, this is weird.
And the only reason
they just wanted to throw in Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the only reason why I attached myself to the Mistopheles or whatever one is because that is the one, just about the one musical number that actually has any pertinence to anything resembling a plot in this movie.
You're right about that.
Yeah, and
there's actually a purpose there. I did enjoy Jason Derulo as Rum Tum Tugger.
Oh yeah,
I thought he was fun. He was entertaining. I was surprised. Not that I thought he would be bad, but he's known as a singer. He's not really known as an actor. But I thought he gave an admirable performance.
And this was the first acting role, I believe, of Francesca
Hayward. She didn't do much.
Yeah, she's like a ballerina, I think, or in like ballet or something. And she didn't.
Yeah, she played Victoria. She was definitely that was like the audience perspective character. So a lot of her was discovering the world.
Yes. And again, there's nothing
but not
to
in
her.
An interesting way.
No, and like our introduction to her, she's thrown onto the ground, abandoned, and like we get no context or anything.
We thought she was Taylor Swift for the whole movie.
We did, yeah.
Both of us did, because like we both knew Taylor Swift was in the movie, and I just saw her, and I was like, oh, that could be Taylor Swift.
It kind of looks like Taylor Swift.
And then Taylor Swift came on, I was like, oh, that's definitely Taylor Swift.
I had that same reaction.
I just assumed that was. I mean, she looked like a cat. I couldn't really tell.
Exactly. Are you saying that all cats look the same?
I'm a catist.
Yeah. Let's talk about the very disturbing Rebel Wilson musical number.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was so weird.
That was odd. First of all, she was supposed to be like the comedy relief, but she didn't do anything funny.
Nope.
Like she fell off of things a couple times. Like the whole bit was that she's fat and clumsy.
Right.
And so she just like would roll off of an ottoman or something onto the floor, and that's supposed to be the comedy, but her character so they're all trying to compete in this talent show to be reincarnated, which
again took me so long to even pick up on that.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson's act is she trains mice and cockroaches as sort of like she teaches them a dance routine, but she eats them also.
It is, and it's
weird.
Up.
They're just like picking them up off the table. They're all like,
and
they have little
like
human
comedic.
Faces, and they're just eating them
so
alive. It was
messed up,
bizarre.
Yeah,
it was bizarre.
It's just, and it's so casual. It's played up as comedy, and it's just like
it was very weird.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Anything else on Cats? Because we don't need to spend too much time.
I didn't like it.
Me neither.
I didn't like it.
Nope. Read my review on obsessiveviewer.com. It was bad. It was really bad.
Shame.
Yes.
Shame.
Yes.
Shame on you all.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah, me too. And kind of final parting thought on that is that, like, I was so just unaffected by this movie. I was so disengaged with it. I was sitting there and I was like, I was numb to it. Like, I was just completely glazed over.
I was angry.
I wasn't even angry.
I was tired.
Yeah.
And we were going to record in the car. We were going to do a parking lot special.
Thank you for saying
And I was like, can we please just go home?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just want to go home.
Yeah. It was actually.
It made me sick because I took a sick day on Wednesday.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask
I
you
had
about that.
I had a cold.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I think it was cats. I think cats made me sick. It made me physically ill.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought it was nice that, like, as we were going home, you were like, "Would you be mad if we didn't record?"
Yeah.
So I was sitting there thinking, like, I'm so glad that you said that.
I was just done with it. I just really didn't.
Oh yeah, it's a drain, and I knew that it was like a one night movie, like a movie that takes place over the course of one night. So like, as soon as I saw daybreak in the movie,
I was like, oh thank God!
I was so
but then
happy.
I thought it was ready to end like 3 times, and I was like, really?
It's like Return of the King here.
Sing some more about stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're done with Cats.
I think so too. Oh, and I also made the anecdote to you that about halfway through the movie, I pictured myself coming home and I pictured pizza coming up to me and wanting cuddles and lovin's and stuff, and just me being like, no, I'm done with cats. Leave. I can't do it.
You cured me of my ridiculous obsession with love.
So we also watched another movie. This is going to be the main review. Of course, we're going to do a non-spoiler and spoiler review for this, but it is Bong Joon-ho's highly acclaimed 2019 film Parasite.
Now, I said earlier that Cats was my least favorite movie of the year. So far, Parasite is at the top of my list.
And it is
wow,
very high
what
up
a
on
wild ride.
Amazing.
You guys, if you haven't seen it, you gotta check it out.
Yeah. And I would say, and I'm gonna assume that you'll agree with me here, but if you don't know what it is, don't
look it up before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't listen to our non-spoiler.
Don't look up a plot summary or anything. Go into it completely blind. That's it. I didn't know what to expect, but there were so many twists and turns.
It was so, and this was my second time seeing it, and just picking up on things that I missed the first time just because of the way that the plot is constructed was just so satisfying to me. So that's your warning. If you don't know anything about it and want to go in fresh, I think it's going to hit VOD in a month or two, I think. I don't know. But anyway, leave us alone and come back.
Robert, go away. We're going to talk to ourselves now. Matt, okay. Now that Robert's gone, what did you think of Parasite?
Okay, so
Robert, we know you're still listening.
Good God,
you can't fool us.
So if you listened to the last episode with Evan, the IFJ did award Parasite with quite a bit of acclaim. So it was the runner-up for best film of the year, behind the winner, which was Marriage Story, and then it was also the winner of best foreign language film. And Original Vision, it got runner-up for it. And then also Best Director, I believe it got, won Best Director for Bong Joon-ho. So the plot summary, courtesy of IMDb for Parasite, is all unemployed Katak and his family, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, and his family take peculiar interest in the wealthy and glamorous parks as they ingratiate themselves into their lives and get entangled in an unexpected incident. So Kyrsten, you didn't know going into Parasite what it was all about.
No, I had no idea.
Happen. How did you feel in broad terms and non-spoiler? How did you feel about Parasite and the way that it unfolded before your very eyes?
Well, okay, I didn't even know what genre the movie was. Like, there was an ominous tone throughout, and there were some scenes where there was, like, kind of suspenseful music playing in the background, so I thought it was going to turn into a horror movie.
Yeah.
I asked you, I kept saying, is this a horror movie?
Right.
Is this and then I didn't know what I was expecting.
Right.
And then I was like, oh no, it's a comedy. It's like a weird situational comedy. And then I was like, oh no, it's not. I still don't know what genre it is. A drama. I guess it would be a drama.
Yeah. With a lot of, like, social commentary to it. Like, and we'll talk more in spoilers about that, but just, I love the way it's constructed.
Yeah, the different classes.
Yes.
The different, was it in North Korea or South Korea? South Korea. Yeah, that makes sense because they were mocking.
Right.
Kim
also,
Jong-un.
they're free to make films.
Well, no, I don't mean like where it was actually filmed, but like where was it supposed to be taking place?
Yeah.
But South Korea makes a lot more sense. But the way that the classes were portrayed, was starkly different, and the shots were beautiful.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning. And I don't know for sure. I haven't done, I think I said this before on another episode of the podcast, but about this very thing, but I haven't done like my research on it, but I want to say that like the exterior of the house or something about the house, like it was constructed for the movie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And
it was a beautiful house.
Yeah. The architecture of it is just stunning.
Yeah. The history of the house is that it was designed by an architect, a famous architect.
Yeah.
Before the family that lives there now.
Right.
Even like the acting was amazing.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was very natural. And the characterization work for the main family when they were at home versus when they were at work.
Right.
They looked like different people.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
The movie plays with such a, like, it has this, kind of stark dichotomy between the kind of, I don't want to say haves and have-nots because that's kind of played out, but it is like class system thing, lower class and upper class. And it's just, it's so well done and well written that like you just see them, like you said, completely kind of changing.
They transform.
As they go into this upper class house and everything.
Was that your cat?
No. That was when the outer door opens.
Oh,
like the air pushes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so like the way like the plot summary says, like the way they ingratiate themselves into this family.
Yeah.
Is like it's like the parasites. To an extent, and it's amazing to see the differences between them. Like there's one scene that I'll talk about in spoilers, but like it shows both perspectives, like the upper class family and the lower class family. It shows like it does a good job of portraying like their own personal like persona and the way that they feel about their status and everything, but also it does a really good job of showing like how what they think of the other of it. I love this movie so much. Yeah. So what like how'd you feel about it?
Wait, you already asked me that.
I did, yeah. Anything else? Should we? It's too early to go into spoilers.
No, I would talk about some of the acting.
Yes.
We're gonna butcher these names, so we should apologize in advance.
Right.
But Park So-dam, who played Ki Jong, who was the sister, I thought she was very good. She was very funny. Kang Ho-song, who played Kim, was very good. The whole family was really great. Yeah.
And they all had like different things that they like different things about them and everything.
And then Cho Yo-jong, who played Yang Kyo, who was the wife and mother of the upper class family.
Yes.
Lee Sung-gyun, who played her husband. They were both very good.
Keeper, yeah.
And Lee Jong-yoon, who played Moon Gwang. the old housekeeper, was very good.
So good.
I can't even understate how good she was.
Oh, yeah. And she, like...
I can't overstate.
Right. There you go.
I'm stating...
Yes. And she had such a range to, like, that character and everything.
Yeah.
Like, there was a really interesting way that it played out.
The performances all across the board were very strong.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. Incredible. And... just, again, it plays with tone so well. Like, it's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a social commentary. It has other aspects that we'll go into spoilers, but it's like, it just, it should, on paper, it shouldn't necessarily work this well, but the way that Bong Joon-ho tells the story.
Puts all these elements together.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like I watched Snowpiercer like several years ago, which was another one of his movies, and I wasn't into it just because I think I was really tired, and I just couldn't really appreciate it. But like this makes me want to go back and watch his movies because he is like a very, very talented filmmaker. I do love that he also has a movie from 2006 called The Host. So he's made The Host and Parasite. Host and Parasite.
Yeah, I get it.
Get it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just stunning cinematography. Just the way...
really beautiful shots. Use of
gorgeous.
His use of filling the screen was really aesthetically pleasing.
Yes. And kind of just the way that it just moves around, like the house in particular, and showing, like visually showing us, obviously.
The framing of all the shots was really well done.
And again, that dichotomy between the two families, like the lower class and the
and even
upper
like
class.
the color palettes of those two worlds.
Yeah.
Were so vastly different.
Yeah. Very vibrant for the park.
Yeah, and then grays and neutral, like earth tones for the
Kims. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The semi basement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and it says so much because they live in this like semi basement, and a big part of the first part of the movie is them, they're trying to get money. They're mooching off of nearby Wi-Fi so that they can check their WhatsApp app to see if they have work.
Yeah.
It's very destitute, and but there's like comedy to it, and like you see there's a kind of a recurring bit, or there's a bit early on and then it kind of resurfaces later, this drunk dude just pissing like out like right by their window and everything, and it's like at street level where the water would go into the semi basement. But I feel like that's just it says a lot about like what people in that lower class that are struggling so hard.
The whole culture of living in that system.
Yep. Oh yeah. And just like the way that like some people just are, self-destructive and will just be drunk because like they'll, because they're trying to escape and everything. That's my take on that. But like these other people will go and
do other things,
some crazy shit. So yeah, anything else on non-spoilers?
I'm ready to talk about spoilers.
Okay, let's talk about spoilers.
I'm ready to spoil.
Yes. So Parasite, we're going to spoil it. I'm going to play a clip from the trailer and then we'll go right into spoilers. So, yeah.
넌 이 좋은 실력으로 왜 미대는 맨날 떨어지냐?
아, 죽을래.
저는 이게 위조나 범죄라고 생각하지 않아요.
참으로 시의적절하다. 부자들이 원래 참 잘 속아. 사모님이 뭐랄까.
풀타임으로 수업 어떻게 하시는지. Is it okay with you?
Spoilers on for Parasite. So walk me through, Kyrsten, how you felt just going through the movie.
Okay. Like I said, I was at first I was struggling to determine what genre this movie is, because at first it's kind of lighthearted. It's this family and they're scheming, to kind of, they're working toward like a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
And it seems like kind of, just a lighthearted, and then they're kind of anti-heroes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they're not good guys.
No.
But you're still kind of rooting for them.
Yeah. It's because they're trying to like they're trying to just elevate their status. Like they're making choices that are, you know, they are pretty
unethical,
immoral, but it is in service of like getting their like live, like improving their lives.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, Robert. So,
God damn it.
They got greedy and they got grabby.
Mm-hmm.
And if they hadn't taken advantage of that situation, if they had just played the cards in their hand, they could have built up a little nest egg, moved out of that semi-basement, had a good life.
But I think that's one of the main things about the movie is that it's an intoxication. Like
what's that expression? You give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Sure, yeah. Like me hanging out with you and me having you on the podcast. Just kidding. You're staring at me like you're gonna
give a mouse a cookie. He's gonna want some milk.
Yeah,
you know. So the family goes on vacation.
Yes.
So okay, let's back up. Let's back up.
Yes.
So old dude gets his university documents forged by his con artist sister.
Right. We don't have to go beat for beat, but yeah.
And then they get the sister hired on with some fake art therapy stuff.
As an art therapist, because what I love about that is that the mother, the madam of the family, of the upper class family, she is established as being a bit simple.
Yeah.
And I love that because I kind of feels like it's, you know, she's a woman of means who doesn't need to really like have anything like, you know, it's not necessarily implied that she's, you know, any kind of challenged person.
No, she's just like a little too trusting.
Yeah, and she's accustomed to a lot. Like she's accustomed to just having people to walk over. And
One thing I don't understand. Ki Jong, the sister, she asks the mother, "Did something happen to the son when he was in first grade?"
Right,
and then later in the movie, it is revealed that he saw the ghost.
Yeah,
and when he was in first grade on his birthday. How did she know there was something specific about first grade?
That I don't know. Because
I know she was saying that she, you know, bullshit her way through the art therapy stuff. She Googled some stuff and you know, just kind of regurgitated it from the internet. But there was something significant and traumatizing that happened to him when he was in first grade. How did she know to ask about that?
In the movie, they don't communicate that.
Yeah, that's one thing that stood out to me.
I could infer that maybe they just found out just through like men or something. Yeah, it's a leap. I agree, but it didn't.
It bothered me.
Yeah, it didn't
because it was something so significant,
right? Yeah,
that came into play later. How did she just infer?
But, I mean, for all you know, he could have told her.
I would have liked to have seen some kind of hint to that.
It didn't bother me at all. I rated this 5 stars on Letterboxd. And,
that was the one thing that bothered me.
Okay, that's fair.
So, then they get the driver fired so their dad can be the driver. Then they get the housekeeper fired so their mom can be the housekeeper. So they're all pretending that they don't know each other in this house, but they're all related.
Yeah.
And
the intricacy of all of this is so, like, it's such a tightrope walk.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Like, it's so...
They're so good at what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the scenes where they're, like, rehearsing what they're going to... Like when they're framing the housekeeper, they pass off that she has tuberculosis. When really it's just a reaction, an allergy, an allergic reaction.
So
And when the dad is rehearsing his monologue and the son is coaching him... on where the stakes should be, like, wow, that's real acting coaching. Like, that's legit.
Have you ever had a director that, well, I don't know, directed you in such a way where like, no, you're here, you need to be here?
Well, okay, so directors always say it is easier to be big and we have to pull you back. Okay. So there's an exercise that a lot of directors will implement where you raise the stakes to 10, where this is the most important thing that is ever going to happen in this character's life. And you play the scene the entire scene,
Okay.
the stakes are at 10. And then you pull
And then
it
you
back.
go from there.
And that's where you can find the highlights, you know, and the high
I
points
see.
of a scene.
Okay.
So
the family is doing just insane stuff. Like they're integrating
Okay,
themselves into
Matt, that's great. I'm going to
Okay.
pull you back.
Okay.
Pull you
Okay.
back. Great.
So the family is doing
I'm
insane.
going to pull you back,
Okay.
Matt. I'm going to
Okay.
pull you back.
So the family is doing insane.
Matt, you're not listening. Matt, you're not listening to
Okay.
me. I'm going to pull you back.
Okay. Okay.
Pull it back. Pull it. Just pull it. Just pull it a little bit.
So the family's doing some insane things. They're integrating themselves into this family.
That
into
was
the
really
upper class
close.
family.
Matt,
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
pull you
Okay.
back.
Okay.
All right? Just pull it back,
Okay.
Matt. Come on, you can do this.
Family crazy. Integrating itself in other family. Crazy.
That was genius.
Thank you. Robert,
If you're still listening,
yes. So anyway,
yeah,
Jesus.
okay. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When the housekeeper came back,
Oh my god. Okay, that
I was
whole
like,
sequence.
I
First
okay.
of all, sorry. If we could back up just a little bit, just the intricacies of their infiltration into the family.
Yeah.
Like, I love that each member of the family, like, it's a very different, like, road in. Like, you would think, like, on the surface, like, you would think, like, okay, well, why doesn't he just say, like, hey, my wife needs work, why don't you do that?
Yeah, it's just puzzle pieces
Yeah.
falling together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason that they don't do that, it's not explicitly stated, but it's like, it's a part of that difference in class. Like the upper class people, they don't want to have any part of the Kims outside of their role in their life, that they're paying them for. So they can't say like, oh, my sister is, like they can't force that. It has to be like, oh, this is my,
Well, but
the
also they're
cousin of my
putting
friend.
on an act from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they hire Kiwoo, Kevin, as they call him, thinking that he is
right.
from a higher class than he really is.
Yep.
And so, even if he were to recommend, his sister or someone, they would expect someone who is not
right.
his sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they think that these people, the acts that they put on are higher class than they actually are.
Yes. And so the house
So when
sequence,
the housekeeper came back,
Yes.
I was like,
But
oh,
even before that,
no.
the whole idea of them just like they're living vicariously through.
Oh my god,
that
that scene where they're getting drunk in the living room, I
Yeah.
was so scared.
You were
The family
scared?
left on a camping trip
Yes.
and it was storming out, and I was like, I thought the family was going to come back and like find them all drunk in the living room.
Right.
But what happened was the old housekeeper came back
Yeah.
and she looked disheveled and she had bruises on her face. That's another thing. She said she would explain later what happened to her.
She didn't have the bruises then. It was when she dropped down when she was trying to push the thing open. When the mother
Really?
Yep, because she hit her face.
No.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that when you could see them when she was on the video for the security
Could you?
system. I'm pretty sure. Because even then I was like, oh, she doesn't look good.
I don't know because I
guess it could have just been shadows in the rain and everything,
Yeah.
but
She definitely hit her face when she fell down on the thing.
but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was already, anyway.
No, you're crazy. I'm gaslighting you. No.
Anyway, she was disheveled. She was in a
Yes.
hurry, and I was like, what the hell is she going to
Like,
do?
what did you think of the reveal of her husband being down there? And that whole, like, that opens up just a whole
was
new can of
not
worms.
expecting
Yes.
that twist.
And it's such a different, like, angle
Park
to it,
Myung-hoon,
too.
who played her husband, what a
Yes.
creep.
He,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, he was scary.
but also, he has this blind and faithful servitude, like, deifying Mr. Park.
yeah.
Like, the reveal of the lights was so
God,
disturbing
it
to
was!
me. Yeah. Because it is like...
He
it
listens
is-
to his footsteps on the
Yes.
stairs, so he knows when to turn the lights on.
Yeah. It is insane. And it's
And
another
he's been living in
extension
that basement for 4 years.
And it's another extension of just him being, like, the different types of, like, people within these two classes. Like, he's a lower class person who is never going to rise above his station in life,
Or rise above the basement.
or rise above the basement. Although he does once.
He does.
Yeah. But it's something that is just so evocative of the story that's being told is that he's just someone who is just kind of in service of this man who, to be
doesn't
fair,
even know that he exists.
Exactly. Yep. And to his, I can understand, like, he sees Mr. Park and the family as, like, people who gave him a life.
They just don't know that he is living in their basement.
It's just so crazy.
Yeah, and then the ensuing fight got out of hand.
I love that because it's so it's such a tonal shift.
It is.
It's so intense.
It's almost like watching two different movies.
It is.
And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
But like the beginning of the movie has one tone, and then there's a complete, like, it just turns it on its head. It's so nuts.
Oh yeah. And the way that it plays, like when it's so brutal. it's so disturbing.
When he comes out of the basement.
And also when she kicks her down the stairs.
Oh my god.
Just
she
like
hits
that
wall.
smack on the head.
Yeah. I knew she was gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't say it milks it, but it's we spend time, like, she's like, honey, I have a concussion, and she's telling him
she can't see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just, oh man.
And then, when old dude comes out of the basement, with that rock.
Yes.
That was horrifying.
And like, it's not glamorous or anything when he beats Kevin in the head. Kiwoo like hits him, like, and does once again, like, twice.
Double taps him.
Yep. But let's back up a little bit. The whole, like, not song and dance, but like the whole tension thing of the family coming home and like the Kims having to clean up and race to do everything.
Yeah.
So tense and so well realized.
Yeah,
like,
and they're all hiding around the house.
Oh yeah. And what I love about that, like, maybe one of my favorite scenes of the entire movie is when the Parks are on the couch and they're getting busy. Yeah. And what I
really, that's your favorite part of the movie?
Well, I mean, I'm so alone. But no, the reason that's my favorite part is that as they're like, before they start getting hot and heavy, like, he talks, like, it's like eavesdropping on a candid conversation. It's where they really show, like, what they really think of
the help.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the whole radishes thing.
I gotta say, I was getting suspicious about the dad, cause he just looked like he was ready to snap at any moment.
The Kim dad or Park?
Kim.
Dad? Okay.
And then he did.
He did. But the thing that I loved about that was when they're becoming amorous, and they're kind of semi role playing as the lower class.
Buy me drugs.
Buy me drugs. Yes. It would be so hot if you wore
those dirty panties.
Yeah, just like, it's just so, because it's a fantasy to them, much like the fantasy of living a well-off life is to them, as they were talking about before all hell broke loose, talking about, they're going to be your in-laws and everything. I really think that it's such a tightly written script, and it's so amazing the way that it pulls that together. Yeah. Also, they were totally like doing it. It was cool. Yeah.
You're the parasite.
Well, really, when you think about it, the real parasite was the friends we made along the way.
So you are the parasite.
Yeah. I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway. So another kind of really incredible thing is, after all that happens, after the reveal of the basement, we get this impromptu party for the kid because his camping trip got canceled.
And like, those people were in the basement the whole time, and the whole family's in the house.
Yep. What I love about that is it's another extension of just how, like, it's such a beautifully written, like, way that it shows the differences between the two classes. Like she's in the backseat of the car talking on the phone, and
her feet up.
She smells
the radishes.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, the rain was actually a bless, or the rain was hard on us, but it make lemonade out of lemons and everything because we're having this garden party, and it's like she has no idea that Mr. Kim has lost his home. Presumably, or has been displaced from his home because of flooding and everything.
Flooded, yeah, because of the rain.
It's so. I love that.
It's such a narrow field of vision that these people have,
and I love the kind of. Just the window into this upper class family where she's like, no presents.
I told you not to bring presents.
Yeah, you're just gonna you can wear sweatpants and stuff. But
and everyone shows up and they're dressed to the nines
because it's expected.
There's someone's playing a cello.
Yeah.
Like
maybe you can sing a song and it's like a beautiful.
Oh, you know
rendition.
the one and it's an aria.
Yeah. Just and I love that scene where Kevin is talking to. The student.
Dahye?
There you go. Yeah, Dahye. Yes, I don't know. I'm butchering that, I'm sure. But anyway, when he's like, "Do I fit in? Like, do I fit in?" Like, it's kind of heartbreaking. Like, it's just
he just wants to be part of that world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So desperately, but like he knows he's fucked up.
Yeah.
He even that was after he promised his dad that he would take care of things,
right.
And then he later goes down with the intention of finishing off the couple in the basement.
Yep. Yeah, and that
ensuing
was so
scene, it was very metaphorical.
Oh yeah,
that ensuing scene that was
so
crazy.
Intense. Yeah. Oh, and like it's not like I don't. It's kind of not necessarily gratuitous violence, but it's just a casual violence when he bashes his head in. Like it's just matter of fact.
It's not like over the top.
Yeah, it's not like movie climax thing.
It looked very realistic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love the reveal that the dad is now living in the basement.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And he's using Morse code. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, like also the housekeeper's husband coming up and stabbing like
oh my God.
Yeah. Just and oh my God, this movie is so amazing. Just like when the daughter is stabbed and like you see Mr. Park just being like, "Give me the keys." Like, what are you doing? Like, get the car and everything.
How callous is that? She's bleeding to death. Like his housekeeper is still fighting with this man.
Yeah.
Who attacked one of their party guests, from their perspective. Mm-hmm. They're still struggling on the ground. Yep. He has a knife. And he's like, "Give me the keys." Like, first he's telling him to drive them to the hospital.
Right. Yep.
Because their son passed out. Like, he's fine.
Exactly.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He passed out because he saw that ghost again, but he's fine. He probably peed his pants, and that's the worst of it.
Right.
But she was stabbed in the heart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just so amazing the way it plays out.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, you just see, like, that's when Mr. Kim snaps and goes after him. It's just so great. And the ending, like the actual ending where you get like, okay, I have a plan. I'm going to earn all this money and everything. It's tragic.
It is.
And it's just, I'm kind of still trying to like, figure out like what it really means, because it's like he has this plan to try to get out. Like, it's essentially his plan to get out of
poverty
and into just a high society and everything. And it's for his father, but like, it's like the reveal at the end where, I mean, it's probably not gonna happen. Yeah.
His dad's probably gonna die down there.
Yep. Yeah, just, God, such a beautiful, beautiful movie.
Beautiful, heartbreaking movie.
Yes. Oh, yes. Anything else stand out to you? I feel like I may have bulldozed some.
No, it's fine. It's getting kind of late. I think we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay, yeah. I wonder how long we've been recording. Oh, yeah, we're good.
Oh, yeah. Robert, we gave you plenty of quality content here, so.
I just want to go on record. More than just Robert listens to this podcast.
Robert is our only friend now.
People listen. I appreciate it, guys.
Robert's probably having the time of his life.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
He's like, they're talking about me.
He does get a kick out of whenever we reference him.
Utah!
Yeah.
Is that what he sounds like?
Probably, sure. Yeah.
Utah!
No, I think he might sound a little bit more like pizza.
Which is?
I can't remember how he did it. That's right. I'm a pizza roll.
It's a Scooby-Doo voice.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a pizza roll. I'm a pretty little pizza roll.
So, Robert, that's you.
Yeah. Anyway,
now.
I'm sorry.
Robert, you're a pretty little pizza roll.
Let's wrap this up. So that's Parasite. Yeah. So we're almost to the end of the year, Kyrsten. Are there any movies real quick that you want to, because I'm gonna force you to make a top 10 list. What is like a movie that came out this year that you haven't seen yet that you
I want to see Richard Jewell.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, we should maybe go see it, I guess.
Did Hereditary come out this year?
No, that was last year. Midsummer came out this year.
I do want to see Midsummer.
We should watch that. Yeah. Florence Pugh is
P.U.
amazing. Oh, that's
Did
not
she
what I
smell
would
like radishes?
say. No, I'm sure smells heavenly. She's also had an amazing year. She was in funny. She was in Midsummer and Little Women. So I think you'll like Little Women. We should watch that too.
What about the big women?
I don't know.
What about medium-sized women?
It's more just a...
What about mega women?
Yeah, that's a terrifying thought. I don't want...
Mega women?
Yeah. Anyway,
Death by Snoo.
Yeah. I'm already terrified of women as it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Hey, wait. Just bad boy podcasting. All right. So
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
So that's our review of Parasite. That's our episode.
That's a very comprehensive review, she said sarcastically.
I think we did pretty good. Yeah.
It's a lot to digest. I mean, I just saw it, so it's a lot to digest.
Yeah. And I will be talking about it in our year in review episode. I don't know what part. We'll see.
Ooh.
So anyway, that'll do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And, next time or previously on, we talked about the Rise of Skywalker. I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but yeah, and then we're coming up on the end of the year. Soon enough, we'll have a year in review episode. Going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for listening. And
thank you, Robert.
Yes, thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And check out my review of Cats on ObsessiveViewer.com. And thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 Florence. Pew, pew, pew. Okay. And now, here's a short clip from our Patreon-exclusive RSS feed. To hear the full clip and more exclusive Patreon content, go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer and become a patron at the minimum rate of $1 per month. Thank you and enjoy. No, we were watching.
She was hissing at you.
No,
it was aimed
She was
at
looking
you.
directly at you.
Matthew, no.
I was sitting here petting her.
And she did not like that.
She was loving on me. I was like, "You're such a pretty little baby. Bite Kyrsten." And yeah.
He was telling her to bite me, and she did not.
Because she's, she doesn't
Instead, she hissed at you.
She's a good, she did not hiss at me.
She bit you last night?
That's
twice?
Irrelevant. That's not relevant to this conversation.
Here.
That that is something I told you in confidence.
Doubtful. You probably tweeted about it. You tweet about fucking everything.
I didn't, but oh my god, she's so pretty.
My cute little kitten. Bit me on the hand. Oh, baby. Oh, daddy. That's you.
Why do I sound southern?
I can't explain that. I don't know. It was a choice I made in the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how
that
I feel
is what
about
rehearsals are for. Exploring your choices.
Yes. And as always, I'm exploring all the choices I've made to lead to this moment.
And you're regretting all of them.
I am.
The Obsessive Viewer podcast is edited and produced by Matt Hurt and presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. For a full archive of our episodes, go to ObsessiveViewer.com/OV archive. You can also like our Facebook page and join the OV Facebook group at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer. And follow us on Twitter at ObsessiveViewer and at ObsessiveTiny. And follow our recurring co-hosts at I am Mike White, that's me, at R.A. Feckus, and at Burger_Lurker. If you enjoy the show, please take a couple minutes to leave us a rating and a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This is the easiest way to support what we do, and all it costs is a little bit of your time. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or support us on Patreon for recurring donations and access to commentary tracks and B-roll audio recorded exclusively for patrons at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or you can simply search for Obsessive Viewer at teepublic.com. T-E-E public.com. For information about our annual live event showcasing short horror films from local filmmakers, check out shocktoberInIrvington.com. And for an archive of all our events, as well as news about potential future events, head over to obsessiveviewer.com/live. For more podcast content, you can find Anthology, Matt's solo podcast covering The Twilight Zone and other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows at anthologypod.com and on Twitter at OVAnthologyPod. You can also find Tower Junkies, a podcast where Matt and Tiny share their love of all things Stephen King and his magnum opus, The Dark Tower series, at towerjunkiespod.com and at towerjunkiespod on Twitter. And finally, check out The Secular Perspective, Tiny's side project podcast, which tackles current events and life's big questions from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda at thesecularperspective.com. The theme music for The Obsessive Viewer comes courtesy of the band Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. Additional bumper music is provided courtesy of As Good As It Gets, which can be found at facebook.com/asgoodasitgetsband. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!
제시카 외동딸 일리노이 시카고 과선배는 김치모 그는 이사촌